Welcome back, Tiger Sports fans, for another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm your host, Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Coker, and we're going to get you caught up on Tiger Sports from this past week.
The women's basketball team played in the first and second rounds of the NCAA Division III Championship Tournament this past weekend. On Friday, they beat Berea 74-52. In the round one victory, Ava Hassel led the team in points with 12, and Ainsley Boraz led in rebounds, collecting 8. And despite a gusty effort from DePauw on Saturday, Hope ultimately prevailed with a 70-55 win, securing their ticket to the NCAA sectional round. TSN was there to cover the press conference after the game as coaches and players reflect back on a season filled with determination and grit.
Congratulations to Hope. We knew they were an outstanding team, and they showed tonight again why they have the dominance over the years. But they had a tremendous performance. You know, they make you a little uncomfortable offensively with their aggressive defense, and they're hard to guard. So they can spread you out and shoot the three, and they can get to the rim, and they've got great depth. And so hats off to Coach Morehouse and his staff and his team for another tremendous year. And you know, we're walking away proud of our season and knowing that we have so much to learn to take that next step if we want to get back to this arena in the future.
If you can't rebound with DePauw, you're going to lose. And so, you know, we just had to hang with them, as tough as they are and physical as they are on the glass. And then we really felt like we needed to get to the free throw line. That was going to be a big thing. So those two were really high on our list of things to do. And then just keep our poise.
We turned it over a little bit against their pressure in the second quarter. We settled in a little bit better to handle the basketball, run some offensive things that we wanted to. Had some shots roll out, but they're really, and they're good. They just make you a little bit uncomfortable. They speed you up. Them statistically, they make over 9 3-point shots a game. So we were playing the math, and we wanted to take away the 3-point shot. Figured that would eliminate 4.5 possessions, right, of made baskets if we could limit their 3-point shooting. They did a nice job of getting to the rim, and you know, we needed to balance that out with shooting a little bit better. When you shoot in the 30s, it's hard to win basketball games. So had we shot better, we had those couple of stretches, you know, maybe this game goes down to the wire.
Well, I just want to say that I look up to Lydia every single day, and she's definitely been the biggest leader of our team spirit. So definitely today, she was at the forefront of that for sure. And I was really thankful to have her throughout the season. I mean, as a freshman, you know, everything's new. I've never played college basketball before. So it was really nice to have that experience from Lydia, and she's really led this team to something really incredible. So I'm looking forward to carrying on her legacy for the next 3 years here.
We came to work every single day with a goal. We wanted to win that conference tournament. We wanted to get to March. And we did it. And it is so rewarding to feel that way, to know the effort that we put in, the grit that we have, and what it got us in the end.
TSN wants to wish a congrats to the women's basketball team on a monumental season.
The men's baseball team traveled to Transylvania this past weekend and played 3 games. They won the first game 8-4 and lost the next two 6-3 and 11-5 respectively. Michael Vallone and Griffin Albright each pitched for DePauw in their sole victory over the Pioneers. Vallone had 6 strikeouts and Albright had 3. The Tigers were led in runs by Danny Glimko and Grady Johnson, who each added 2 to the final score. DePauw will be back on the road this weekend to play Manchester on Saturday. The first pitch is scheduled for 12 p.m.
The women's lacrosse team had an astounding 23-0 win on Saturday in their home opener against Hanover. Leading the Tigers in goals with 4 was Callie Clare, and Lydia Hollis was the only goalie for DePauw on Saturday. She had 2 saves. The Tigers will be back in action tomorrow when they travel to play Illinois Wesleyan. The game is set to begin at 6 p.m.
As for the men's lacrosse team, they traveled to North Central College on Saturday and lost 17-8. The Tigers will be back on the field tomorrow at home to host Anderson. The start time is scheduled for 7 p.m.
The women's tennis team played twice last weekend and won both. The Tigers hosted Hanover on Saturday and won the match 9-0. DePauw's 3 doubles teams of Ellen Gardner and Kat Wilder, Cassie Green and Valerie Doherty, and Katie King and Alex Preston all took home victories. In singles play, Gardner, Doherty, King, Wilder, Bella DiNardo, and Ellie Bruce also all came out on top. In their second match of the weekend, the Tigers trumped Transylvania at home 8-1. The 6 Tigers who won in singles competition on Saturday also won in their singles play on Sunday. The doubles squads of Green and Doherty and King and Preston also collected victories on Sunday. DePauw will be back on the court on Saturday when they host Huntington, and the first serve is scheduled for 12 p.m.
The men's tennis team were busy this past weekend as they hosted 4 matches at home. The Tigers lost their first match of the weekend on Friday against Rhodes 5-4. On Saturday, they turned things around when they beat Hanover 9-0. The 3 doubles teams of Ryan McCook and Finley Bilty, Wills Warren and Hudson Mosher, and Samuel Pia and Tegan Crow all collected wins. Bilty, Warren, Crow, Mosher, Evan Uhl, and Chase Hutchinson all took home victories in singles play. On Sunday, the Tigers first lost to Wash U 0-9, but won the next match against Transylvania 6-3. The doubles team of Mosher and Warren and Crow and Pia totaled wins over the Pioneers. McCook, Jake Lewisell, Scott Anderson, and Grayson Zilstra all collected wins in singles competition. The Tigers play next tomorrow at home against Rose Holman. A start time is scheduled for 5:30 p.m.
And that's it for Tiger Sports this week. Now it's time for Hot Topic, where we talk about something from the Tiger sports world or the greater sports world that we just can't stop thinking about. Tessa?
I can't stop thinking about how March Madness is coming up. I'm rooting on Texas A&M for women and Purdue Boilermakers for men. It's my favorite time of the year, so been thinking about that lately.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's exciting for Indiana. You know, Indiana's a basketball state, and it'd be cool to see Purdue take it. But
Yeah.
I'm going to stay on the basketball topic. I'm going to talk about Caitlin Clark. I think right now, let alone in women's basketball, but in men's basketball and maybe sports all over, she's one of the biggest names that's going around. She broke Pete Maravich's all-time Division I scoring record in men's and women's basketball this past weekend. She scored 35 points in the game where she broke it. She needed 18 to do it, and she broke it in the first half. Maravich's record was 3,667 points, and after the game that she broke it in, she now totals 3,685, and her season's not even over. She made a joke about how Pete Maravich was nicknamed Pistol Pete, and she wants to be called Ponytail Pete. So that was funny, but she's killing it. I love seeing her do it. It's such a big stride for women in sports.
Yeah.
Anyways, that'll do it for this week's episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Once again, I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Kokert, and as always,
Roll Tigs.